Metaverse, NFTs, and the New World Order.
So hello, my name is Kimmysen. I'm the Vice President of Cillionaire, and we are the official media partners of AIBC and Sigma conference here in Brazil. And yeah, I'm happy to introduce you to Evan Luthra.
Thank you, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here.
So yeah, could you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background in investing?
Yeah, sure. My name is Evan Luthra. I'm an angel investor, parallel entrepreneur. I've been investing in fast-growing technology companies since over a decade. I started firstly by building iPhone apps when I was 13 years of age. I built about 24 plus apps and sold my first company at 17. That led to me knowing a lot more about technology. As technology is what I understood best, I focused more on actually learning more about the space. So I started traveling the world, speaking at a lot of events I was invited to, and came across Bitcoin for the first time in 2014. Bought my first BTC in 2014, but didn't really get deeply involved in the space until 2016. During this time, I was already investing a lot in early stage tech startups, different Web2 companies, and my own company started reaching out to me and saying, hey, can you help us with the blockchain? Can you help us with crypto? So that's when I started looking more deeper into the blockchain space, into the crypto space. And by 2016, I was an early investor in companies like Hedera Hashgraph, HBAR, XRP Ripple. I invested equity in these companies. Many of them did over 100x. And by 2018, I knew this was the future. So from 2018 onwards, since now, I've basically been very bullish on the Web3 space, very bullish on crypto, very bullish on blockchain. In the last 5 years or so, I've invested in over 400 different blockchain companies. I advised about 40, 50 companies pre-market to listing with hundreds of millions of dollars of volume on day one, billions of dollars of volume across the markets, 50 to 100x return for our investors. I write for all the top-tier media, Cointelegraph, Forbes, Cryptonomics, Entrepreneur, Hacker Noon, and I also dabble in some NFTs. I spent $5 million buying all the biggest NFTs on-chain, a bunch of CryptoPunks, Doodles, Bored Apes, these are all my apes, as you can see, and then some more stuff. And right now, I just see how we can add more value to the community.
So that's an amazing bio. Thank you for sharing. And what are your thoughts on the role of cryptocurrencies in shaping the future of the global economy? And how does it affect your investing strategy?
So I think there's two questions in that one question.
Yeah.
But how I see tokens and crypto affecting the global economy, I think it's going to disrupt everything, right? Before AI started taking over in the last few years, I think blockchain was the most disruptive technology I'd seen, at least in my generation. And I see a world that's going to be completely run by tokens and DAOs in the near future. And to really understand why we need Bitcoin, why do we need crypto, you have to understand why do we even need banks? Why do we need governments? And to understand that, you have to step back in time. You have to go 200-300 years in the past, and you understand you need banks and governments to enable trade. So somebody from India could do business with somebody from Germany, could do business with somebody from Brazil. That's why you need banks and governments to enable this trade. But what's really happened is, over the last few decades, these banks and governments who are meant to serve the public, who are a public servant, have become quite corrupt. They are not serving the public anymore. So I can go into any bank and I can get a loan quite easily, right? I can easily get any loan I want, but I'm not the one who actually needs that loan. My chef, my driver, my support staff that actually needs the loan, they can't get a loan today. So it's a very corrupt system if you understand it in detail. What Bitcoin does is it takes power away from these centralized entities and gives power back to the people. This is the idea of Bitcoin, right? And I think this same model can be applied in many more angles. So a way to get tokens allow us to way to distribute governance and to distribute power. And this is the best way to do it. A good way to make an example is if Honda, like right now if you ask anybody in the, what's your best car? Most people will say a Rolls Royce. Most people will say a Lamborghini. So, but if Honda and Toyota come out with a token, and you could buy some Honda token, you could buy some Toyota token, get a part in the claim of the revenue. If you buy Toyota, I buy Honda token. Next time somebody asks what's the best car to buy, I'll say buy a Honda. You say buy a Toyota because you have a very small claim in the revenue of that company. And similarly, as it grows more, then Honda says we made $10 billion. Where should we invest that? Right now, a small board decides where all those investments go. But eventually, in the future, token holders can decide. I would vote for invest in a new yacht because I love to be on the water. Maybe somebody will say invest in a new bicycle because they love going bicycling. So I think that's what tokens do. They give power back to the people and they share governance. And I think this is going to be the very close future that we live in, and this is already happening at a very, very fast pace. We can already see the growth of tokens that we have seen in the recent times.
Okay, that's very interesting. So how do you see like the role of investing evolving in the Web3 space?
I think Web3 is democratizing access to investments. Normally, to invest in these fast-growing opportunities, you need to be an accredited investor. You need to be somebody who has certainly $1 million or plus in income or a certain amount of criteria to be able to invest in these early-stage companies. But now what we see is with Web3, anybody can go and try starting by investing with $1. You don't even need $1. You could do it with less than $1. I mean, there are some payment processors here that start with 5 riyals. So I think that's the exciting part, that Web3 allows everybody to get access to the same opportunities, right? It allows everybody to have a share in the rise that we see, which was previously only limited to accredited investors. So that's the interesting part that Web3 is doing. Already I'm part of many groups like Gains Associates, Dutch Crypto Investors, Unreal Capital, a lot of these groups which are on Telegram, which are basically venture capital community VCs. So it's a bunch of people coming together, collecting capital, and then get access to the same terms or the same beneficial access to a deal, which normally would be limited to a big VC or somebody with a big firm. And now that is open to everybody with a Telegram group and $100. So I think that's very, very interesting how Web3 is changing how we invest right now.
So what unique challenges and opportunities do you see like in this space?
There is some challenges, there are some opportunities. It's not like we're going to go from a very centralized world to decentralized overnight. It's a gradual process. It's going to take time. We're going to move from a centralized to a semi-centralized world to eventually a decentralized world. So I think there are going to be challenges along this journey. We all have heard of rug pulls. You've all heard of scams. Anytime an industry grows really, really fast, people try to come in. They try to come and take advantage. And that is what can be changed with Web3. We need to change that. We need to educate people. And I think that's the onus that we have on us as the early adopters, is to educate as many people as we can how to differentiate between the right stuff and the wrong stuff, how to pick the right options and how to invest in value. So I think that is the real challenge that we face right now, is to remove all the scams and the trash from the space and focus on the real value generation that this space is really about. Because, I mean, this is what this idea is, to generate value. The more value you generate for others, the more value you get back yourself.
So you're a very successful investor and invested in over 300 companies plus. So do you have like any successful case study for us, or like some interesting projects you want to share?
I mean, I'm invested in like over 400 companies now, advise a lot of different projects. I can share about some of the companies that have booths here. There's a company called CoinSpade that I'm an advisor for. They have a booth here if you guys want to visit. They do 8% of all Bitcoin on-chain transactions. So out of every 100 transactions on the Bitcoin network, 8 of them are processed by them. I mean, there's other companies that are not here that I'm invested in. I really believe in the future of Metaverse, in the future of NFTs. About over 30% of my focus has been in Metaverse. And if you ask me why, I mean, most people, when they think of the Metaverse, they think of this virtual place, like the movie Ready Player One, or this place that exists not in real life, but virtually. I think it's different. I think Metaverse is a moment in time. Like in artificial intelligence, they have the idea of the singularity. It's this moment in time when artificial intelligence becomes stronger than human intelligence. Similarly, I think this Metaverse is the moment in time when our digital life matters more to us than our physical life. And this is not an overnight change. This has been happening gradually for 20 plus years. If you think about it, 100% of our attention used to be on the physical world. Then came TVs, they sucked 15, 20%. Then came computers, they sucked another 20%. And now with iPhones, half of us are on their phones all the time. So wherever your attention goes, that's where your energy flows. And I think with the Metaverse, what's going to happen is Apple just announced the headset where you have a screen in front of your eyes at all time. I was actually building apps for Google Glass in 2013, 10 years ago, where I had a screen in front of my eye all the time. It was just way too early for its time. That's why I didn't get picked up. But now with Apple out there pushing this VR headset, almost 100% of your attention is going to go in the digital world. And eventually, before you realize it, you're living in the metaverse because that's where energy is going, that's where your attention is going. It's like calling the internet information highway or a cyberspace 20 years ago. That's where we are right now when you talk about the metaverse. So my mostly focus, a lot of my portfolio allocation has been to metaverse companies. I invest across the board, like in DeFi, infrastructure, NFTs, all kinds. I have a modeling company, fashion company, furniture company. But my focus is the metaverse because I think that is where is the highest potential opportunity. And at the same time, I also realized this is a game changer for people, at least over half the world, which is considered less fortunate, which makes less than $500 a month. That's over 3 billion people right now. All of Africa, most of Asia, they don't make a lot of money. So metaverse is a game changer for them. I'm very blessed and very grateful to be able to say that I go out every night, I can enjoy, but to go out and buy a drink, it costs you money. To go out and enjoy something, it costs you money. Most people don't have that opportunity. I come from a country like India where 600 million people got access to the internet for the first time in 2017. That's almost as many people as in Europe, double the people in the US. So if you think about it, these people, they're all on their phone all day, swiping and swiping. Eventually, they're going to move to the metaverse, and that's where they're going to spend all their time. If you want to visit like an art gallery of my friend Romero Brito, he also has an NFT project. I'm also advising that. He's the most licensed artist in the history of the world. If you want to visit his art gallery, you have to be a private collector. But to be a private collector, you have to spend tens of thousands of dollars minimum on his paintings. Only then you can go visit his art gallery, which is the largest art gallery in the world. But now with the metaverse, he built his art gallery in the metaverse. For less than $1, you can buy access to his metaverse gallery. You can have a similar experience as if you were visiting his real gallery for less than 100th of what you would have to pay to be his collector. So that is real impact that we are seeing what metaverse is going to give opportunities to the least fortunate part of society. I think it's very, very exciting. I mean, I've been investing and advising a bunch of metaverse companies. Nakamoto Games is one of the top ones that's been running for over 2 years with $1 billion plus in volume. All the investors made 50 plus X. If more recently, I've invested in some other metaverse projects also that are building metaverse for fitness. It's a FitBun. So I've been in this space for a long time. Polka Family is another project 2 years ago that we're building a metaverse for a long time. I'm a big believer on the Bored Ape metaverse, right? I mean, I have 7 apes. I stake them all. I have a bunch of land in the other side that I feel I will build on. I mean, I've collected land in a lot of different metaverses also.
That's amazing. So what do you think, which trends should we watch like in the near future?
I mean, the most exciting trends right now for me is AI, and the intersection of AI and blockchain is even more exciting. Just in 2023, I've done about, I would say, almost 50 plus investments already, and the 2 best performing investments of mine are CryptoGPT and ChainGPT. These are both AI projects, and there's a couple more that launched recently, also did well 5 to 10x, which is not the best. ChainGPT is 50x. But the best performing investments in recent times for me has been all AI projects, right? It has been projects which have dealt at least on the intersection of AI, or they're using AI in one way or the other. So I think right now the biggest trend, and it's actually AI is a very, very disruptive technology. If you heard Tony's speech and how his WhatsApp bot saved him from his wife's arguments, so I mean, it's really, really amazing. Like, it can really change stuff. So, and I use now ChatGPT in pretty much everything I do. Like, it helps me not have to wait for my lawyer to even send me back information. That's wrong in the contract. Now I can just send it to ChatGPT and he can send me instant, on demand, all the feedback I need. So I think it's really disruptive. If you have not tried it already, I highly recommend you to go on your computer and try ChatGPT today, and it will tell you the potential of what we are really seeing. And this is just scratching the surface of what AI can do. You can go into Stable Diffusion. There's a lot more tools and tech that you can use to make your life very, very easy with AI.
Yeah, so I'm a very big believer in ChatGPT too. I'm using it for my daily tasks also. It's like a very helpful and useful tool. And yeah, so how about your investments? Like, how are you handling your risk management?
I'm a very different investor than most people. I believe crypto is about people, right? Bitcoin is peer-to-peer trust. If I trust you, you trust somebody else, I trust that person. And that is the main ethos of Bitcoin. So crypto, end of the day, is all about community. Andres asked in this panel, how do you define Web3? For me, the right word is community. It is literally all about that. So for me, when I decide to invest, the first thing I look at is who brings me that deal. My due diligence process is very, very, very short. I don't recommend this to you because it doesn't apply to everybody. But my due diligence process is who brings me that deal. If I made money with that person in the past, I don't even ask what the company is or what you're trying to do. I will blindly invest because it's like almost like a mafia, right? If you know the right people, That's how you get successful. They bring you the best deals, and you take the best deals back to them. I have access to my own deal flow. I have my own network, and I work the most on building that because that is how successful I am as an investor. It's about who you know, who brings you the best deals. In crypto, you have to fight for allocation. The best deals, they have 100 people who want to invest in them, but they're only going to take 10. So you have to provide value. You have to provide much more than just money because money is cheap in this industry. There's a lot of abundance of money here. So the idea is to be able to provide a lot of value. Normally, the value that and people who are already in the deal can bring other people. So for me, the first thing I always look at is who brings me that deal, and based on that, I move forward. Because if that person brings me a top deal, I will take them the next top deal that comes to my way. After that, I also always recommend look at the team. What has the team done before they were in crypto? And if it's a young team, what kind of character they have, what kind of personality they have, because obviously building a company is not easy. It takes a lot of effort. It's a 24/7 effort, and you have no holidays, and it's really hard. A lot of people see now on my Instagram thinking, how is he building companies? That's why I don't build companies anymore. I just invest. And because I like to enjoy my life. If you want to build a company, you have to forget enjoying your life and focus 100% on actually putting in the hours to make something work and make something a success. So look at the team. And then also I would say, look at who their partners are. Like in crypto, I decide very, very fast where I'm investing and where I'm not investing. So I'm used to looking for signals. There are signals. When I say signals, I mean, who are the partners? Who's backing them? Which other people have behind them? Who is letting them use their name and their logo for this company? So if it's backed by one of the big VCs, one of the big exchanges, or one of the big groups, then I'm like, okay, I can trust them more because these people probably had done a lot more due diligence than I'm doing. So that's the other thing that we look for when I decide to invest. But it's a bunch of different factors. It's hard to say because I'm very diverse in my investments. And also, like, if I like this, am I going to use this? Okay, if I'm going to use this, I will invest. A lot of times I've invested in products simply because I use them quite heavily. And then it's like, is this going to add value to others? At the end of the day, money and success is a byproduct of adding value for others. So I always tell people, if you want to get into any space, not even crypto, always go with the mindset of how you can add value. How can you add the most value to somebody else? Because the more value you add for others, the more value you will get back. That's how life works in a very, very simple way.
So would you agree with the sentence that your network is your net worth?
I think you meant your network. Yes,
Yeah.
I do, like I just said, right? I mean, that is 100%. I agree with that to a very, very high extent. It depends a lot on what you do. You could have a big network, but if you don't have any value to provide, you will not go further away. So you have to combine it by also having value. When I talk to companies, they let me invest simply because I have a big following. I can publish about them on different networks. I know a lot of the people. I can connect them with the big partners. I could have a big network and not have this value. It would be a very different situation. So you need to also have value that you bring to the table. If you don't have a seat at the table, bring your own chair. But 100% have value to provide. And the more value you can provide, the more you can capitalize on your network. I see a lot of mistake with a lot of people going to I spoke at over 200 events in the last 3 years in over 40 countries, in person, live. But I see a lot of people coming and I meet them again and again, but they don't have any value to provide. So you have to think that you cannot just show up. You need to have a lot of value that you're bringing to the table so that you can also actually capitalize on that network. Building a network without having value to provide is not a smart thing. You're going to build the value first. Once you have the value, once you have your assets that you can use, that you can trade, that you can share with people, then you need to build a network on top to scale. Network effects come into play when you already have a product market fit, you already have some value to provide. But network effects at scale is the best way to grow a company really, really fast.
So I would also like to talk a little bit more about community building and your NFTs. So lately in the crypto scene, like many people are talking about Casa NFT. So can you tell us more about that?
So Casa NFT started with with a few different things happening at different times in history, but coming together. So I started investing a lot in NFTs. Like I said, I bought all the biggest collections out there. I bought a bunch of them. So I made this big NFT collection, but didn't really know what to do with it. So I had all these NFTs that I bought. Then at the same time, I wanted to diversify. I was already investing in real estate for many years, but I wanted to diversify more and more. And as I was making more and more cash flow, I wanted to put a little bit at least in real estate. So I decided, okay, I put 5-10% in real estate. So I ended up buying a bunch of land. I bought a lot of land in Zanzibar. I bought 55,000 square meters, 300-meter beach. I bought beachfront in Dominican Republic. I bought beachfront in Tulum. So I started buying all this land, and I had these NFTs. And like I said, for me, my success as an investor depends on who I know. And I want people to bring me the best deals. When they come across a deal, I want people to think of me and call me and say, Evan, I have this deal, I want you to get in. So why do people do that? People would do that because you got to remember, people always remember how you make them feel. Or anything else in life, people may forget your name, but if they had a good time with you, they will always remember that this was the guy I had this amazing memory with, even though they had met you for a very short time. So it was all these things coming together was the idea behind Casa NFT was, how do I throw a lot of parties all the time. I'm known for that. I've done 8 TV shows about my life as partying. So it's always to have a good time with my friends and family around.
Happy birthday every day.
That's the motto in life, happy birthday every day. So it's like, how do I make these parties and stuff happen without me being there? How do I remove myself from the equation but still create this memorable experience and moments that people remember? So that's how Casa NFT started. First, I built a proof of concept in Delhi. We set up a really nice art gallery with some rooms around it, and it's all NFTs displayed. Then we bought a beach house in Tulum, and we turned that into a Casa NFT. We bought an old hotel. We changed everything in the hotel, put the pillows, the beach beds, the towels, the drapes. Everything is around an NFT, right? It's all these art and IP that we already own. At the same time, so Casa NFT, in a very short word, is Soho House for NFT, crypto people. It's a Soho House for Web3 people. You could be anywhere in the world, but you could end up at a Casa NFT,
Like
and you will
Pink
find
Floyd?
you would find a great party, and you would find great people to network with, people that you can actually have a synergy with, people you can connect on a mental level with, and probably if you have a good time, you could have some more synergies, and you start building something cool with other people. Just recently at the Casa NFT in Tulum, we had Pink Floyd show up and play for free. Pink Floyd is the top 50 artist of all time in history. Nobody would charge $100,000 to come play anywhere. They showed up at our place, had a great vibe. We have an in-house DJ equipment, audio equipment. We have a small club there. And they started playing for free. And this was exactly what the vision was, to allow people to have a wonderful time. Everybody talked about it. Everybody shared. And then I was not there. I was in a different part of the world in Europe. Normally, to organize an experience like this, I would need to be there myself. But this was done without me being there, without me even having to be involved at all. But I had some good VC friends staying there. I had some founders staying there. And they all had this great time, and they all stayed together. So that's the vision with Casa NFT, is to allow people to create these experiences, memorable moments, and basically enjoy life, right? I mean, that's the goal we have with Casa. We are now expanding a lot more. In Zanzibar, we're building a 300-room hotel. The idea is that we work with the government there. Most crypto people, like I was born in India, I surrendered my Indian passport, bought a St. Kitts passport, Mexico passport, because of the benefits it provides me as a tax benefit and the travel benefit. With Zanzibar, we are allowing now, firstly, my friends, we're going to handpick who actually gets to stay in that community resort. But it's like people that are influential in Web3 will be able to buy a single NFT with the tap of a button under $200,000, and they can get Zanzibar residency, which gives them tax-free, worldwide income tax-free for the next 15 years around the world. So you don't have to spend a day there in your life. Dubai used to be providing this benefit. They just came out with corporate tax that's starting in the next month, and they're losing this charm that they had. Already many countries now don't recognize Dubai residency as a tax-free benefit. But Zanzibar, we are just building this program with the government. We're going to the first property there that will allow people to claim tax benefits without actually being there. Because most crypto people, they don't live anywhere. Like most of my friends, they're always traveling.
I totally agree.
They're not in one place. They're nomads because they work on the phone. They work on the internet. So they don't need to be based anywhere. And there's more stuff that happened. Like I said, this was just not planned. And I don't like to work too much. I like to work smart. I like to enjoy my life. I always say a life with purpose is not a life worth living. Life should not have a purpose. The purpose of life is to have joy, is to have fun. If your life has a purpose that you're working towards, which a lot of people will tell you to have a purpose, I think you're missing the point of life, which is to enjoy life. You can't enjoy if you have too much of a purpose and you're working towards the purpose always. But with Casa NFT, the goal is you live like you will die tomorrow, but you work like you will live forever. So you leave a legacy behind. You have a good time, but smart people around you, that when you are with smart people around you, that's always it. The reason I also like the Web3 space is because you can never discount the hard work, the smart work of these smart people. Because it's some of the smartest people in the world who really understand Bitcoin and who really know that this is the future. This is where we're going to go. You can never stop technical progress. You can always delay technical progress. You can bring in bureaucracy, you can bring in laws. But end of the day, the right technology will always win. And technology grows exponentially. Unlike most businesses in the world, which grow linearly 10, 20, 30% a year, technology, once it reaches this J-curve, when the whole world realizes that this is the future, that's when you shoot like a rocket. And that's going to come for every technology. We're seeing it with AI, we've seen it with Bitcoin, but every technology that comes our way that is completely disrupted, we will see that happen.
Thank you for sharing all these amazing insights with us. And yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think the time is over already, but if anybody ever wants to, feel free to reach out. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, at Evan Luthra, or you can contact Anna anytime. You can get her details after this. So feel free. Thank you guys for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank
Have
you.
a good day.